I just got a package from Walmart and I'm so excited. Please excuse the Batmans in the background. I filmed a video with them today. So I think both things are in here. Yeah, yes they are. Yay! This is a crimping iron. I bought this just to do doll hair. They do sell mini ones, but none of the mini ones I could find had heat settings. And for me, that's an absolute 100% requirement when using any hot tools on my dolls, because especially since I plan to crimp a lot of dolls with Kanekalon hair, which is very prone to burning since it's the most heat sensitive, I just would not feel comfortable. So since this is about the size of my regular flat iron, I figure it'll get the job done, even if it's a little bit trickier getting up by the root. And then I mentioned this in the last video, but Colleen got Ginny, who was on sale for $11, and I want to say this was $24, $25. However, we didn't actually end up paying for these things. So last year I had to get a new cell phone because Colleen and I each needed one. I was having so many problems with my old Jeep that I was constantly breaking down and not being able to pick her up for work. I mean, the thing was almost 20 years old. So I ended up getting a cheap, like $40 track phone, smartphone. I'll show you. So I've had this bad boy since last year. It was literally $40. And I also wanted to get the smartphone and not like the really cheap ones because my iPod Touch, which is what I usually watch YouTube videos on, is like 10 years old now, and it was starting not to work very well last year when I was on the internet. So I got that phone. Long story short, someone told Colleen about the Walmart app, and when I guess like there's this thing called Savings Catcher, and since that's where we get all our groceries, every week I would put the receipt in and it would like compare prices and you'd get money back. So we ended up having about $36 saved up. I haven't used it recently because they changed everything, so now you can't just scan the receipt. It's like a whole complicated thing at checkout that I have not figured out how to do, but you can use it as like an online gift card, or you can use it in other ways. So we just went onto the site and I wanted to get this crimping iron because they don't really carry it in stores, like not at the local Walmart anyways. So because I wanted to get this, it would have been $7 in shipping. So for an extra like $10-ish, if you spent $35, you'd get free shipping. So it just made sense, rather than use some of my money to pay for shipping, just to get a doll. So Colleen really wanted Ginny because we haven't seen her in stores. So Colleen opened Ginny up last night. She needs her hair washed and boil washed. So I'm gonna undress her and take care of this hair. And isn't it interesting? Her hand, this one anyways, looks a lot like a Monster High or Ever After High one. So I'm kind of wondering if they reused that mold. So I want to move all of our backdrops here to a new location because we have so many of them, and I'm concerned that there's getting to be a little bit too much weight on top of that shelf, which even though it is cardboard, obviously cardboard can begin to weigh a lot, and it's hard to pull out certain ones now. There's so many. Colleen especially has a hard time because she's shorter than me. So now that the basement is doing really well, like we haven't had any mold issues and stuff, I'm going to put these back downstairs but in a different spot, and I just made some room for it. I did not film that because I'm not sure if I'm keeping the stuff in those places for now. So I'm going to take all these down. So temporarily, I'm going to leave a few of these up here. So these are all the ones that are going downstairs. And then for now, unless I need that top shelf for anything, I'm going to keep my main backdrop that I always need for Flickr photos, and then the one that I use for my playset photos. This one is painted and this one isn't covered with contact paper, and I don't think I will because I need it to kind of be matte in those situations. But those two are going to stay up here until further notice. But I have 3 that aren't covered yet, so this one needs contact paper. But only one side. This side is fine. Same with this, and then this wallpaper. So that's 3 sides to 3 different boxes that need contact paper, and I don't want to put them downstairs until they're done. And one of my goals this month was to get those covered anyways. I already did one of the old ones, the wrapping paper one. I did that last time I bought contact paper, so this is where the backdrops are in the basement, and there's still plenty of room for the few that I left upstairs. Obviously the playset one and the one for the basic doll guide are going to stay up there just for convenience sake, unless they really need that top shelf for something. But this way it'll be so much easier to flip through, and you can also like take a peek at the reverse side. And I had to make room, so I was down here for about an hour because we had a big bin of some overflowing American Girl furniture and these 2 beds. So down that way, which you can't see, it's totally dark. That water heater is all the way down at the other end, and there's like a whole row of Barbie play sets, like the big houses. And last time it flooded, it only came to like a foot before this pole, so it's well out of the way. I would definitely not put these on that side of the closet, but they should be fine over here. And these aren't staying here. This is Colleen's handmade Molly canopy bed that she got for one of her birthdays. I'm going to fix this, clean it, and then I'm going to put Pearl and Jodely on it down here, since Colleen doesn't have room in her bedroom for it. And I mean, she might want to make room for it when she sees Pearl and Jodely on it. But I thought that would be cute because I put them down here for now because when I got them I didn't have room for them upstairs, and they don't sit too well, but I think I can get them to sit on the bed. And then that's a Cabbage Patch crib that was for my Bitty Baby doll as a kid. I don't know if I'm going to keep that, honestly. I mean, I haven't used it, but I feel like that'll come in handy for babies later. This was originally where the backgrounds were. On this end here, there are no water pipes or anything. This is just like the ductwork. But for some reason, because it had been so damp in here from the water heater, that's why they got like moldy, 2 of them. One was able to be saved because it just got damp, but the other one actually got moldy. But obviously a high shelf isn't ideal for them, especially with the number I have. And the one upstairs is a lot less rickety than this guy, so this is just for lightweight Barbie play sets. And then up there, I'm going to keep my Batman bat caves. I'm going to bag them and stick them up there because they're awkward to like store in drawers and stuff. I had them in the toy chest recently, but that way Colleen can still use them for photos and things. And here, this is some of our American Girl furniture. I emptied out this drawer. It had just like bedding and stuff for the American Girls. I put some more things in here. These beds, Addie's homemade rope bed and Josephina's catalog sleigh bed, those were actually in the closet before. So these are some like, this is the only drawer that those would fit in. They also would fit in the toy chest, but I just put them in there. And here I did a little bit of rearranging. So this is where Colleen's extra Harry Potter power caster and my Batman figurines live, like the little guys. And then this is where I decided to put her wooden dollhouse furniture. Some of it's not even made. That was on top of those white shelves next to where the backgrounds were at some point, but the container it was in was really long, so I'm just donating that. And then this is Bitty Baby's homemade high chair. Are like radio flyer wagons that are American Girl sized. And then these are extra chairs that we have. I didn't want to put anything really important in here because these drawers do swell up, but we don't need access to those particular things, so I put all the ones that we use more often for pictures and stuff in the toy chest and in the drawer. And then this is where the bedding went. I got one of these at the Salvation Army last year sometime. It's like the same thing, but it's in white. So I had bought one of these brand new on sale for paint supplies before then, so I just swapped them out so the nicer one could be for doll stuff. And I haven't even put labels on this because I literally just put it, but this is like, you can see Josephina's bedding, and then there's other like American Girl bedding and like my Bitty baby carrier, and this is all homemade bedding. That one's empty, and I put our 2 empty spare bins down here. These were in my art room. They were both things I got for free. They were in my art room. They used to hold like paint and stuff, but when I got my cube system I didn't need them in there anymore, but of course I saved them, so they're just down here hanging out for whatever we need them for. I'm thinking I might put Becky's wheelchairs in one. So one of my goals for this month of February was to dust my Bratzilla's display. Of all of my doll shelves, this one gets dustiest the fastest because the cats like to lay in front of this shelf, and a lot of times, as you can see, the dolls are kind of messy looking because the cats' tails and stuff knock into them. So unlike the bulk of my displays, like my huge rat shelf and stuff, which I only need to deep clean once a year, I need to deep clean this one several times a year. So I'm going to dust them. That'll be one of my goals, and I also need to reshoot photographs of their faces and earrings for my Flickr guide, because I noticed that the new background does much better for their faces, so that's what we're gonna do. Someone on YouTube recommended this type of hair elastic the other day, so I actually ordered them. If you weren't aware, I have a lot of trouble with hair elastics on display. Sometimes within a week or two, depending on the weather, they will literally just completely break apart, like the ones here. I have tried all different kinds of brands. I've done a lot of research. I even tried like latex-free orthodontic bands. They haven't worked. I hadn't actually heard of this particular kind, so I'm going to give them a go. I have 2 dolls that need elastics on this shelf, Magic Night Out Cloetta and Midnight Beach Megana, so their elastics are always popping. We're going to try these out. I won't be able to give like my real review and opinion on these until they've been in a long time and on quite a few different dolls, so I thought I'd share. I ended up buying these on eBay because the Amazon link the person sent me, I was reading through reviews and some people said they didn't actually get the right product. So I thought I'd just play it safe and go through eBay. So Colleen and I filmed my Batman collection video this weekend. So I have a few things that I still need to put away downstairs. I bagged in my 2 bat caves like I would my larger Barbie playsets, and they have the labels, and I have a spot for them downstairs as I pointed out in a previous clip. And for the collection video thumbnail / photo, I bought some scrapbook paper at Walmart because I'm kind of addicted to making backgrounds, in case you haven't noticed. But Colleen and I both wanted some slightly more, I don't really know how to describe it, but most of our other backdrops are either pretty plain or they're a bit like fantasy-like in the color schemes because of the pads of paper I got. So I looked at Walmart and there was this one called Vintage Treasures, and I thought that this would be really cool for Batman because even though these are like, you know, antique typewriters, typewriter keys, old cameras, I thought that like the black and the silver would look really cool with Batman. So it was $5 for a pack of 50 sheets, so I ended up having 3 left over because I used 12 for each background. And as you can see, I have 4 new backdrops. So this one is all kind of like different types of paper. This one is Colleen's favorite from this pad. It has like old looking photographs, music notes, flyers, just different things. And then there's this one, which is really cool. It has like old books and locks, magnifying glasses, maps and compasses. So I think that this will really work for photos that we want to be a bit more less fanciful looking, maybe more like industrial or something like that. So I'm going to give all my big babies an actual bath because they get dusty pretty fast, as you can see. I do wipe them down pretty routinely, and where they are downstairs in my parents' old room, things don't really get that dusty super quick because it's a low traffic area. But it's been a while. They definitely need an actual bath. I'm probably gonna wash their clothes, and then I can photograph them for Flickr because they need new pictures anyways. So as you can see, I was testing out my new crimping iron, which I was so excited to try. And I already knew ahead of time I was going to be using it on my baby's Felicia because she has nylon hair, or like a really weird grade of Kinecon, I'm not actually sure. But either way, it's the kind that's very resistant to heat, so you can flat iron it and all kinds of things without it burning. So before I didn't have any experience with a crimping iron before, so I didn't want to go willy-nilly and do it for the first time on a doll with saran hair or like Barbie grade Kinecon, where it's very heat sensitive and could burn. So instead, I decided to try it on Felicia, get a hold of it, and see how it worked because she has bad hair anyways. So I didn't crimp her whole head. I kind of started with a few random bits and then I went ahead and added more and more. So it's obviously not like perfect looking, but I think it looks so cute because, you know, she's this African American doll and it added some really cool texture to her hair. It kind of almost looks like a faux natural texture, and you can see how like tiny some of these crimps are. There's I overlapped some of them at points. That's why they're not all perfect looking, because I was just playing around with it. But I'm really impressed with how this worked, and I had it on the low setting and it didn't sizzle or anything, and I did have a bunch of heat protectant that you could see me applying on her head. So I think it's really cool and I'm really happy with this flat iron so far. I have to use it on other dolls. And it's also going to mask the fact that she doesn't have very nice hair, because she's supposed to have much longer hair actually, but it was so damaged that I had to trim it. So it's still pretty damp. I'm going to put her downstairs to dry with the other babies, and I'll show you what it looks like when she's completely dry. Alright, so this is Felicia's hair all dry. It turned out amazing, even though I was just goofing around with the crimping iron. It looks really awesome, and her hair is way shinier than it was before. I think from a combination of the heat and the heat protectant I used. She's not burned anywhere. Her hair looks so much better, and I even changed her little outfit. Felicia doesn't have her original outfit, so I actually bought a ton of fashion packs for her when I rescued her from the flea market. I got them on eBay for really cheap. And then these guys have parts of their original outfits, which they were photographed in for Flickr, and as you can see, Jade's still wearing her ensemble. That's because she's never actually worn this since I got her, because I already had fashion packs when I got her, so I decided she can wear this for now on display. And then I've been dying to put Roxy in my Pretty and Punk fashion pack, which, by the way, this happens to be my favorite Bratz line of all time. I adore them. And then Phoebe, I really love Phoebe in the Nighty Night fashion. The pink looks so good on her.
I'm about to retake this Why I Love Barbie photo for the video thumbnail. Something that I've been doing is, if I'm writing a new list, like this Bratz Pack Plus that I did a few weeks back, I am losing my voice and I don't know why. I wrote down a list of like possible dolls. I didn't manage to fit them all in, but many. And then when I knew which dolls needed different outfits, I wrote them down and wrote like the names of the outfits I needed. In this case, I already kind of have a blueprint up because I'm more or less keeping this idea but throwing in a backdrop and maybe making it a little spiffier. So what I'm going to do, I'm trying to look through the camera and write at the same time, which is why that looks so awful. Start by writing like the dolls that I'm going to need. From the 80s, I have curly curls, And I know that's a Hispanic doll. I'm gonna write them down kind of like, not necessarily by year, but in rough categories so I know which containers I need. This outfit might be on someone, so I have to get the doll that's on too. And likewise, I know my Zoo Pal Stacy's wearing that. So I'm gonna write that. And then I'm gonna write the furniture. So I was talking to myself and realizing I wasn't actually recording. So I wrote down all the dolls I needed that were in the photo, and anyone like Zoo Pal Stacy that I knew I was going to need. Like, there's a few of these outfits here that I'm not sure if they're on dolls. Like, I'm pretty sure this was at some point on a Beyond Pink Barbie. So I'm gonna Google, like, put in our Flickr, like, in the search bar and see if she still's wearing it. And like, this outfit here, I can't remember if someone's wearing it. So I'm just gonna type in the name of the outfit, like look in the Kelly album, see what that outfit's called, and then type it in and see if it pops up on any of our dolls. Whereas like, I know these two are actually wearing these outfits in storage. And this here I had out on Santa Barbie for a photo, so I know it's also just in storage. She's still wearing it, so I know I need her because I don't think we have a whole spare outfit of that in storage. But I could be wrong, so I'm gonna write her over here. Because since she's the only one that I might need in that container, she's a 99, and everybody is either 80s or 2000s or they're an affiliate. I'm going to, because I need fashion packs to set up the boutique anyway. I don't know if that Kelly outfit's being worn. I suspect it is. That photo appeared, that outfit appeared as in its photo, which means no one's actually wearing it in storage. And then there's another Kelly outfit I need to find. And it's on our spare holiday Kelly, which is good to know. So I'm finished, and I started probably around 2 and it's about 6. And I'm not even done cleaning yet. I haven't even started cleaning yet. I want you guys to see how much work goes into one of these. So I set up the makeup counter, and I puttied stuff to the makeup counter so it didn't keep falling or anything. I put an outfit in here because I want to make it look like the dressing room. And I set up, I set up the baby store again with this cute little shoe tree, sock tree, booty tree, because it's just so cute. Excuse me, Skipper. I set up a clothes rack. And I dressed 3 mannequins with jewelry and everything. I set up hat rack. Sorry, PJ. All these purses. All these shoes. And I had to fight with the models. These 3 were a triad of difficult hair. Kelly's is so wet from the gel, she's gonna have to stay up here tonight. Magazines, paper money, bags, all those shoes, those bags, dresses. Yeah, this took me like 4 hours. And I had to dress a few of the dolls, like these 3 I had to change. I changed the McDonald's Fun Time dolls. I think everybody else is wearing what they do in storage or their own clothes. I'm crazy.
Hungry cats. Hungry. Are you hungry? Bye-bye. Anyways, so this is the list where I keep track of all of the photos that we've been slowly working on retaking, the fancy photos. This, I had the original list my book from last year, but I broke it into categories.
I'm gonna feed the hangry boys.
So this is the Why I Love Barbie one. You can see some of the other ones we're gonna redo. And this is also a list that I've written in here. This is from, again, another list I copied over, and that's because we're doing a different background now. When I wrote the original list, we were still using our old palm tree background, so things were checked off that now need to be retook, etc., etc. So I color-coded everything, and I did actually draw really faint pencil lines that you can kind of see here, so that's why everything is even. So those are all of the different albums, and other than that, like, the only other lists I have so far in this book are American Girl retakes, which we've only done Molly so far. Okay, so I am currently editing this episode of Dolly Diaries, and we're at about the 25-minute mark, so I'm actually just going to end this video and sign off. I don't put intros anymore because I don't really see the point unless we're doing something kind of exciting and I think to be like, oh hey, welcome to another episode, but I don't make a formal intro in case you've noticed, but I like to say goodbye. So are you gonna say goodbye?
Goodbye and hello.
So yeah, it's late at night, sorry for the lighting. So we'll see you in the next episode. We got a lot done in this one. I've been really busy and trying to film at least clips of everything. Oh, and my Bradzilla's dolls are all back, in case you're wondering. I forgot to update you on that. So I'm gonna probably be slowly inching my way up this shelf because I need to reshoot their faces and stuff. So yeah, until next time, love your dolls, love yourself, and love your life.